Hello, everybody. This is my fourth time attempting to do this video. The first time was Tuesday when we had the meeting, and I was under the impression that it was going to automatically record the way that I asked it to. Not only do I have all of my meetings set to record, but I specifically went in and tried to do the weekly meeting one to set it to record. I have finally figured out what the problem is. All right, so let's talk about what we talked about on last Tuesday's meeting. All right, so I was discussing with everybody the ways that I'm not managing my landscape. That's one of the things. And then Nancy Madsen and I started talking about root pruning because she was considering transferring some citrus that was in a poor position because it's not getting enough sunlight, right? So we talked about root pruning, cutting one side, different sides of it at different times, and making sure that the soil remained moist but not waterlogged, and then transferring the plants and then replanting them in a position and making sure that the soil, that the backfill soil is not amended, and it basically creates a big berm along with the fresh mulch that would go over the backfill soil and not up on top of the root ball of the plant. And I will send you all out the publication that goes with that to help you all be able to visualize it, because there are lots of people who want to do interesting things like that. And it would be very helpful for you all to be refreshed on the subject. And then I said, well, that seemed like it was a lesson in itself. And so we continued on having our discussions. And we got to the point where I explained how I made a schedule for continuing education offerings while I was doing my end of year report. That way I would be able to say, okay, I will have this done at this time and it'll be easier. I can accomplish the things that I want to accomplish this year. And one of the tasks that I would like to do more than anything is assist you all with your access to technology, right? Since a lot of our current programming is being done virtually, I am aware that some of you are not inclined to use your tech because sometimes it can just be cumbersome, or it can just be an annoyance that you just don't want to go through. So I explained during the meeting, my rationale for even using Zoom, right, was it's just keep on clicking. There was nothing that you all had to download, no major password issues, as long as you use the link that I send you all on Tuesday mornings to access the meeting. It'll automatically put in everything that you need to have in there. So that just makes accessing our meetings a lot easier than it would have been, say, for example, if I had put all of us on the Teams program. I've seen other Master Gardener coordinators using Teams to teach Master Gardener training and put their whole entire volunteer corps onto Teams. I'm not going to be doing that anytime soon, I hope, because we had our teething problems. You know, I had a couple of people who never received the emails for 2 days that even invited them, and then it timed out. And it was just a lot of back and forth and rigmarole that was unnecessary, in my opinion. So having said that, we're going to continue to use the easiest ways for you all to be able to access our programming. And so even just using these videos, it takes me a while to edit them and then to upload them onto YouTube. But I'm aware that most people have clicked on a YouTube link, and it's pretty much very, very easy. You know, it's snap your fingers, it's almost instant gratification. So I will continue to do it in this format for you all. So Tech Mondays is what I've come up with. And I've also decided that if Mondays are not a good day for you, let's talk about it in an email or something, and then we'll figure out a tech day for you. All right. And basically, it's going to be, you're going to email me and let me know that you would like to have some help using whatever technology it is that you are using to access our programming. And let me know what it is. So if it's an iPad this year or that version, an Android tablet or your cell phone or your desktop computer, whatever it is that you're using to access our programming, I want to know so that then I can look it up, familiarize myself with the basic idea of what I should be looking for on your equipment, and then be able to assist you. I originally said that I was just going to do one big lesson, have maybe 7 people present in the room, and then have it up on the screen and do it by Zoom. I can still do it by Zoom if you want a Zoom appointment. We can do it by Zoom if it's not Zoom that you have a problem accessing, right? It could probably be some other aspects of things that I want you all to use or to do. So if you're thinking of wanting to be one of the volunteers to help with the virtual clinic, I can go through and help you with setting yourself up and being able to help with virtual clinic, right? So that is one of the reasons why I'm doing Tech Mondays, or at least I'm calling it Tech Mondays. So I have 4th January blocked off, 18th January, 25th January, and 1st February. Those are all Mondays. Again, if Monday is a problem for you, you let me know when you're going to be available. I'll look at my schedule and see how I can fit us in, and we'll discuss the best way of us getting you more involved or back to being involved with our programming. All right. Because there are so many ways to skin a cat. Surely there are. All right. So moving right along, I adore bragging about you all. It's a lot of fun. Part of the part of the things that amuses me the most is the way that other volunteer coordinators take it so personally. And really, it's not a slight to them at all. It's me saying you all are the best. It doesn't mean I had anything to do with it. Anyway, so we are a small company of volunteers trying to serve our community. However, you all are very high quality. You all are so curious and you engage with a lot of continuing education. And there are some things that I really would like for you all to pick up from me and to be taught this year while we're still on limited service. All right. So I'm going to provide continuing education after our meetings, after our basic business that we do on Tuesdays. I chose not to add another day of you all having to log in and get into, I said to myself, I already have you all on Tuesdays. So why not just add it in the same way that we used to do during our monthly meetings, basically, right? We would go ahead and just have our meeting at the beginning and then our continuing education. The only difference is there are some times during a month that I'll do this for 2 days out of the weekly meetings instead of just one. All right, so continuing education will be happening on select Tuesdays. The offerings will be 12th January customer service. And when I talk about customer service from a volunteering point of view, it is still the same as with all organizations, all right? It is internal customer service, the way that I manage with you and the way that you manage with me and your other volunteer and your co-volunteers, all right? And it's then the ways that we project our offerings outward into the community. So there are times when people will say, well, I'm a volunteer, I don't have to. Oh, yes, you do actually, right? Because I talk about the way that I encourage you all to wear your shirts, your name badges and everything. So you all are fully branded as Indian River County, Florida Master Gardeners. We want to put forth a particular look and a particular feel for our service. And sometimes that gets lost in the smoke of, well, I'm a volunteer. Now, I will admit to you all that I do not encounter any significant number of these issues and any significant level of breaching, I guess I would call it. My English is disappearing at this hour of the night and frustration is setting in. But whatever, I have not encountered you all being anything less than kind, courteous, compassionate people to the members of the community who come and access our services. I really would like for us to be a little more polished. So that includes the ways that we send off our emails, the ways that we word different things, even when we are speaking and exchanging information verbally with our clients. I would like for us to be a little more polished, all right? And to remember to use our brand. I want University of Florida to be first and foremost in the minds of anyone who enters in, and absolutely after they exit our doors. All right, 9th February, continuing with the branding theme, perceptions of Florida for Florida-friendly landscaping management, okay? That is our flagship program. I want you all to address your personal perceptions of Florida-friendly landscaping, what you thought it was, what it really is, how those two things mesh together. When I first came here, that all the volunteers were like, oh no, we don't want to use that. It's kind of like a bad word here. And so we had a lot of discussions about it. And it is our branded program for the ways that we encourage homeowners to manage their landscapes. So I would like for us to talk about the ways that we view Florida-friendly landscaping and the ways that our external customers view Florida-friendly landscaping, so that then we can talk more about the ways that we engage in these conversations, be it by email, on the phone, in person, if we're at a festival again one of these days. How do we approach someone who asks us about information for what's wrong with their lawn? How do we say, well, the Florida-friendly way of managing St. Augustine grass is going to be the best way for you to go. Oh, no, I don't want anything to do with Florida-friendly landscaping. And then you smile at them and say, what do you think it is I'm going to tell you? And you have your publication ready and you share it with them, because all of our publications on that type of thing is definitely going to talk about a Florida-friendly landscaping management technique, right? So we want to turn that into a sweet word and not a bitter set of words on our customers' tongues and our own. Let's start to have better experiences when we share with them the thing that we are there to share with them. All right, 23rd February 2021, clinic dust procedures. I am doing slight modifications to our forms. It's going to be more for the ways that we'll be able to collect data and the types of data that I really would like to collect, so that we can plan our programming better. All right. And it should also give you all a better experience asking these questions. So I am going to be setting up the forms so that you all can access them online as well as in the office on paper. Of course, we're going to keep our paper forms. But for those of you who are helping me with virtual clinic and going forward, if we are to have virtual clinics, then I would really, really like to make sure that these forms are online and that we're able to just download our information, and it should make it a lot easier. And of course, those of you who are in the office and you don't want to use a paper form, it'll be there on the desktop and you can just continue to save it in a folder, and that'll make us go more towards paperless. We're not going to be paperless, but we can do a little bit less paper sometimes. All right, so clinic dust procedures. And that's also going to be very important for those of our new Master Gardeners who did not have an opportunity to have a real internship with our veteran Master Gardeners on the desk. Let's discuss clinic dust procedures. And this is also going to be very valuable to those of you who show up for our festivals, even if we're not having festivals this year. It's a good training for those of you who will be at festivals, because we get a lot of those questions at festivals, right? And now we have 2 tablets that we can use at festivals. We'll be able to access those forms virtually online. And so we'll be able to actually fill out the forms during festivals for people who have a very, very interesting case that we'll say to them, okay, you know what, let's go through the procedure of at least filling out this form, and we'll have it saved, and someone who's on the desk next will be able to access it and assist you with it, okay? 9th March will be research techniques for addressing homeowner inquiries. There are times when I receive emails from the desk that I believe I don't need to receive. I believe that you all are fully capable of answering those questions. Now, why they're not being answered, I'm not too sure. And I'm going to default to saying that I must not have taught you how to pull those strings to unravel that particular mystery. So I am going to do research techniques for addressing homeowner inquiries. That way, you will have the tools in your toolbox to continue to do a magnificent job on addressing homeowner inquiries. And I'll be able to then address the things that are really, really just blow your mind. I can't believe that's what that was type of questions. So the little snakes that we thought were worms, that was fun. I totally agreed with sending that to me. But varieties of ants, I don't think that that's the best use of my time. That's why I have volunteers. That's why you all should be trained properly, and that is totally mea culpa. So I'm going to go back through research techniques for addressing homeowner inquiries. And of course, we're going to work on who do we send it to other than Nikki, right? Some of you are really, really great at finding out which buggies it is that is being a pest in someone's house. I would rather you send a little message through the VMS to someone else and say, hey, you know, you're pretty good at this. So those of you who want to help me with more specialized things, send me a message, please. So if plant ID is your thing, let me know. If insect identification is your thing, let me know. If you're really, really awesome at managing turf, I think I've got 2 really, really awesome volunteers who are really great at managing turf. Send me an email saying, you know, for the tough ones on turf, I'll be here for you. Let's manage this a little bit more efficiently. Not everything that you don't get completed within that one session should be escalated to me. All right. 23rd March is in invasive plants and animals. I doubt that I'm going to teach this. I think that I'm going to farm this out to someone who you all would have a better experience with. Okay. And besides that, I mean, me teaching a bunch of things to you all in one year is also going to be rather tedious to you all as well. So I'm most likely going to farm that out to another agent. 13th April will be soil testing procedures. This is going to be especially useful to those of you who are interested in helping with soil testing, who are interested in being on the rotation to provide soil testing. And it's going to go from explaining to the client how to procure their soil to calling the client back and saying, this is the pH of your soil, and based on your question, this is the answer that I have for you. All right, so it's from soil sampling to recommendations. Let's talk about soil testing. And those of you who are not going to be inclined to do any of the soil testing, it is still good for you to know what it is that you need to tell the client to expect. All right, here's how you're going to dig up your soil. This is what my fellow volunteer is going to be doing with your soil. And then the person who tested it, or the person who is on the desk, if they're not contacted by the tester, will call you back and explain to you what is what. All right, so soil testing for pH procedures, that is on the list. And then 18th May, we're going to go through propagation basics. All right, propagation basics is going to be very interesting because I got some rather fun feedback when we started our propagation project for our vegetable gardening. And I definitely want us to be in a better headspace starting so that when we're starting our vegetable crops again for next fall, that we go ahead and get ourselves in better position to have better results. That's important. So we're going to definitely do propagation basics. Those of you who are doing vegetable gardening, again, please remember to continue to take your notes, continue to talk about the pros and cons of the crop that you're growing, the way that you're growing it, where you are growing it. All of these things are important pieces of information that we need to know to make our next rotation on this a little bit easier, as well as to share with our clients when they come in the door. All right. So that is important. I will definitely send out an invite for sometime in June to be able to, for us to talk about what went well, what didn't go well with our vegetable gardening project so far. All right. Please send me your recommendations and requests for other class options. If there's something that you want an advanced lesson on, or if there's something that you're just simply interested in, and let me know if any of these things are things that you're interested in being able to teach or know more about, and I will go ahead and address it. So of course, this means that some of the days that our meetings are, these meetings are going to be longer. All right. Let me know if you have any suggestions for the meeting format or the timing of the lesson on the lesson days. I know for sure that I'm going to just go ahead and set myself up for the usual, like when we used to have our regular meetings, we had like a 5-minute interval where people would get up and go grab something from our shared little potluck type of thing. So I'll insert a 5-minute break between the meeting proper and the education unit. That way, if it is your lunchtime, you can grab whatever it is that you have to grab and be able to come back. I am considering doing a hybridization of our Tuesday meetings where we have a limited amount of people who come in. I'm not sure that I want to do that as yet. Of course, this year, we're not going to have our beginning of the year kickoff meeting like how we've had for the past several years that I've been here, and even many before that. I will go ahead and continue to pay attention to the trends. So right now it's not just COVID-19, right? It's also flu season. So, and those two things combined together, that's not the cocktail we want to be drinking. So I will continue to monitor our area and the trends and the goings ons. And we might not have an in-person meeting per se for quite some time for our beginning of the year type of kickoff thing. But it's not that I don't want us to, it's that I don't want us to jeopardize our health and safety in order to do this particular thing. I'd rather have us all be able to safely do it later on. All right. So keep an eye and ear out for my next thing when we're going to be able to get together. An update since last Tuesday when we had our meeting is that there were announcements that were made locally that vaccinations are being offered by appointment. All right, so contact your GP. Also set yourself up for text message and email alerts from the county emergency operations center. They sent out a few text messages and emails earlier on in last week explaining that shots were being offered at the fairgrounds, and I think there was one other place. All of those appointments have been taken up and everything, but keep your ears to the ground if you intend to be vaccinated so that you can get your appointment at the earliest. I was not in a position to get an appointment the other day when it was being offered, but I have the alerts coming to my phone, so I will definitely be accessing that service as soon as I possibly can. Those of you who are doing the IG Center with me, if one or two of you will email me or text me, I went and I got some replacement plants for bed 9, which is the one out to the front where the bush daisies have given up. And I got a couple of replacement plants for beds 1 and 2 as well. So I have those replacements, and I also have the pots finished and the plants to go into the pots. So those of you who are helping with the IG Center, if any of you would like to go out there and replace some plants, let me know and I will drop off the supplies to you so that you can go out there and do that work. When you're out there, please do a little assessment of the location and let me know what things need, if any, need assistance, and I will get back on it and have them sorted out for you all to be able to go back at and remedy any poor appearance, any plants that look like they're not thriving at all. All right, as usual, please check on a friend and let me know if you need anything. All right, I hope that you all are doing well. I hope that you all are staying safe and doing the best that you can. All right. Have virtual lunch with somebody, have distancing lunch with somebody. If you need anything again, let me know. I will do my best to assist you with whatever it is that I can. Stay safe. I will see you all on Tuesday morning at 11 o'clock again.